Hello, everybody. My name is Jacob. I like sports. Welcome to another edition of JK Sports. As you see, my surrounding has changed. I've been moving houses these past few weeks, which is one of the reasons why I haven't been able to record recently, as well as the fact hasn't been much to talk about. Now we know baseball started a few days ago. However, I can't really talk about baseball too much, as well as the fact that my teams, the Marlins, hasn't been playing. 18 players out for coronavirus. Now some more players came out, I believe, from the Cardinals that are affected by coronavirus, as well as Yankees missed a few games. So can't really talk about baseball too much. However, we have basketball back, NBA games that are meaningful, that are legit. Finally started last night. And our very first game that started off the weekend was Pelicans versus Jazz. Now, I say it was a very good appetizer for the game that came for the Clippers against the Lakers. We were blessed with two really good games, to be honest. Both were high scoring, both were close games, and for not playing for months on end, I know that they had these scrimmages, these practices, but not playing a meaningful game. It was really good. There was some sloppy plays. There was quite a few turnovers in both games. However, for the Jazz and Pelicans, it was a very fun game, especially for two teams that aren't expected to compete for the title. It was a very fun game. You have players Brandon Ingram coming in 13 points, Zion Williamson finished 13. Lonzo Ball really did not impress me last night. He had a really bad time struggling at finishing around the rim, only finishing at 4 points. Then where you look at the Utah Jazz, both Donovan Mitchell, Mike Conley finished with 20 points, and you had Jordan Clarkson off the bench with 23 points. And of course, ironically, Rudy Gobert, the person infamously known for being the first NBA player to contract it, touching everybody's faces, spreading the disease around, scores the first basket to come back. Now, there's a few takeaways you can take. However, there is some clear takeaways I see from both of these teams. I'll first start with the Pelicans, and that being they're not trying to win right now. They know they're not winning the title this year, which is the unfortunate reason for why Zion Williamson was on that minutes restriction, going at only 15 minutes last night. But the 15 minutes he was in there, he did look good. He looks really explosive. He looks very athletic, which we already know he was. Didn't really get to see him shoot any jump shots. However, at the rim, his finishing is incredible. Like he finishes a lot of shots that he just looks like he's throwing up. It looks like very sloppy, not well put together. However, he finishes almost everything around the rim. Now about the Jazz, it's a little bit different. While they won the game, it's clear that some patches throughout the game they did miss Bogdanovich, who is going to be out for the rest of the season. They struggled to create their own shot. Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, both undersized guards, struggled to score in the paint. And when they hit a dry patch of the game, they really couldn't find a bucket. They couldn't find a way to score. However, of course, in the end, they did end up scoring. However, I do believe if Zion was given the full go, the green light to play 30, 35 minutes, Pelicans would have won that game. And for the future for the Pelicans, I do see them doing pretty well, as if they add some pieces to that team, Zion continues to develop, Zion stays healthy. First and foremost, needs to stay healthy, needs to be out there to play. But it was a very fun game. It was a very fun game to tease us for our second game. That's not what meant to happen. The Lakers versus the Clippers, which, I mean, you got AD, LeBron going against Kawhi and Paul George. It was an incredible game. LeBron finished, he didn't do too well. 16 points, 11 points. Anthony Davis offensively was incredible, finishing 34 points. Kyle Kuzma, a little bit reliable, came in at 16 points. And then conversely with the Clippers, Paul George finishing 30 points, Kawhi finishing 28 points. Again, another good game, another high-scoring game, and a game that you could easily be misled by. Now, most of you know I'm a huge LeBron fan. I've been supporting LeBron since back when he was on the Cavaliers days. However, this year, I don't think he's going to be enough. What I saw last night, what I've seen since I made that YouTube video saying I thought the Lakers was going to win. Since then, Rajon Rondo's gone down, Avery Bradley's gone down, and it is very clear that when LeBron is struggling, the team doesn't seem to be able to lift themselves up. Anthony Davis, incredible. Had an incredible game. However, we all know the issue with Anthony Davis is his durability. Eventually down the line, he's going to pick up little nicks and knacks. Like he had the eye injury, which of course is freak accident, and he didn't miss any time for. However, down the line, you're scared of him getting injured every single game. LeBron struggling, finishing at 16 points. Didn't do the best. Didn't create as much shots as he normally would. He looked explosive, had a few nice dunks. However, they have a hard time relying on their other scorers. Danny Green hasn't been as productive as he has been in years past. Now, Kyle Kuzma, he had 16 points last night, and he did well in the scrimmages earlier in the week. However, he's not somebody that they've been able to rely on. He hasn't been somebody who's consistently hit his shots, be able to consistently create his own shot. He looks the part, the height, the size. However, I want to see a finished product out of him. They traded Brandon Ingram instead of him. Brandon Ingram finished yesterday 23 points. Could have had more. He was doing a great job creating his shot. His 3-point range now is much better than it was in years past. He's stepped up, and in many people's opinion, he is the most improved player of the year. Whereas Kyle Kuzma has seemingly taken a step back and hasn't been as consistent as in years past. So Lakers won the game. However, with the Clippers missing people like Montrezl Harrell, Lou Williams, they're going to be the better team. If Anthony, God forbid, if Anthony Davis goes down, I'm not sure the Lakers, who else the Lakers can beat. If Anthony Davis goes down, I don't know if they're beating the Rockets. I don't even know if they're beating the Dallas Mavericks, if I'm being completely honest with you guys. They don't look full. Now, they had an incredible fourth quarter where they put together a lot of good shots. They were hitting their shots. But a lot of that is just coming down to getting hot. I don't know if they consistently can do this when the playoffs start. Now, obviously, this game is almost meaningless to both teams. They're both in the playoffs. Clippers are trying to figure out their seeding. However, they're going to finish most likely at the 2 or the 3. And the fact that they're in Orlando, it doesn't really matter who gets home court advantage. Yeah, you can pump in your own crowd noise for however you want as the home team. However, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't make too big of a difference. And if these two teams were to match up in the conference finals, if you want to stack up the teams, 5 out of the top 7 players on the combined rosters, I would say the five best players out of that 7 would be on the Clippers. Lou Williams, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Montrezl Harrell, and even Reggie Jackson. And then you just got LeBron and Anthony Davis, who are amazing by themselves, but that's just the thing. They are by themselves. They don't have as much supporting help as they need. And you could say it's LeBron's fault. He's got a lot of aging players on that roster who you can't rely on. They're nice pieces. They're entertaining to watch. JaVale McGee started up a YouTube channel ever since he's been in the bubble, which has been very fun to watch, to see the life through a player going through this bubble. However, unfortunately, I'm going to have to pull back on when I said that I think the Lakers are going to win the championship. Based on what I saw last night, even though the Clippers won the game, I do think, even though the Lakers won the game, I do think that the Clippers are going to win the championship this year. Now, we'll have to see about my Celtics. What I said with the Celtics getting to the championship, we'll see how they'll do. I think they play either tonight or tomorrow. But as of now, the Lakers don't look as good as I once thought they would be. And unless they seriously improve, I have a hard time seeing them make it into the NBA Finals. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Jacob. I like sports. Welcome to another edition of JK Sports. I'm going to be hopefully being able to record videos much more frequently now that I have finally moved into this room, finally got my Wi-Fi situated, and finally sports are starting. Makes it a lot easier, all of those things combined. Is there anything you guys would like to for me to cover? What do you guys think is going to happen with the remainder of the NBA season? Do you think the Lakers still have a chance to win the championship? Do you think it's going to be the Clippers? Anybody else from the West you think might sneak against the NBA Finals? And also predictions for the East. What do you think that's going to end up in? I hope you guys are enjoy this as much as I've been. I'll be just as excited that sports are back. But once again, thank you all very much for watching. Please like, please subscribe. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.